Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this tiny cute beaded lobster. So this is what it looks like. This is the back. So let's get started. So to make the lobster you'll need some size 11 seed beads in red and also just 2 black seed beads size 11 for the eyes. You'll also need your beading thread, and you can use any beading thread for this. I'm using 6-pound fire line in the smoke colour, and 2 beading needles. If you're comfortable using your thread, whatever thread you're using, without a needle, then you can also do that for this technique I'm going to show you, but I prefer to use a needle at all times. So I'm going to need 2 beading needles because you're going to have 1 threaded on each end. So let's get started. Okay, so I've cut about 45 inches of thread and I've threaded a needle onto both ends of the thread. And when you do that, make sure that this little tail that you've threaded through, I'm just going to measure it. So mine's about 5 inches. Make sure it's the same on both so that they're exactly the same, so that when you pull your beads down they'll sit exactly in the middle. Okay, so then we're going to start by picking up 2 red beads on one of your needles, on your right hand needle, and then slide that down and just let it hang down on the thread, and then you're going to pick up 1, slide that on a little way like that, and then take your other needle in the other hand and cross through it. So you're sort of crossing your threads through that bead. Then you want to put your needles together so you've got the same length and bring this bead down, and that's going to make sure it sits right in the centre so you won't have one thread getting shorter than the other when you get towards the end. Now you're going to pick up 2 more red, slide them on just a little way again, like that, and then take your other needle and cross through them just the same way and pull that down. So now you should have this, so you've got these 4 beads on the top and the 1 single bead, that's the front of the lobster. So we're going to be working away from that. This time you're going to pick up a black, a red and a black, and again just slide those on just a little way onto the thread, take your other needle and cross through them like that. Pull those down. When you pull it down this time, to make sure that it's going to sit on this side and not try and flip over and sit on the front where that 1 single bead is. So just make sure it's sitting on the back like that. Okay, then we're going to pick up 3 red. Move those onto the thread and cross your other needle in the other hand through all 3 of those. Take both your needles and pull them both down. Now you should have this. So on the underside you've got 1, 2, 3. This time we're picking up 4 red beads. Slide those on a little bit and cross through them. Now we're picking up 4 red beads and cross through them. Now we're going to add the first of the little arms. We're going to pick up 5 red beads onto one of your needles, slide those down a little bit and cross through them all with the other needle, and again pull them down just the same way. So you've got this. Now, taking one needle at a time, so I'm starting on this right hand side. I'm going to pick up 6 beads. And let them slide down onto the needle. And then picking up one more. And holding that last one on the needle. We're not going to let that one slide down. I'm now going to pick this up, and these are the ones I just added. So I'm holding that one on the needle, and then I'm going to go back down through 2 of these, like that. Hold them all there with your thumb and fingers so they don't slide out of place, and pull that down. If it becomes loose, don't worry about that, because when we do the next step it will work itself out. Okay, so now we have this. So now we're going to pick up 2 more and slide those down. Then picking up 1, and we're going to go hold that again on the needle like that, and then we're going to go back through those 2 we just added. If you find that this becomes very loose here, just pull your other string on the other side. Should tighten it back up. Okay, so I'm coming out of these 2 I just added. Now I'm going to sew back down through 1, 2, 3, 4 beads, like that. Okay, and now you can put this needle to the side, and now you need to do that exact same thing on the other side. So on the other side you're going to do exactly the same thing, so I'm going to go a bit quicker with this one. So I'm going to pick up 6 beads, slide those down, picking up another one, holding that last bead you picked up on your needle, go back down through 2, picking up 2 more, slide those down, picking up 1 and holding it on your needle, sliding, going back down through those 2 we just added. So same thing as we did on the other side, and then you're going to sew back through these 4 beads. So now you've got this, and your threads should both be coming out the last bead on those little arms that we added. So now back working with this right hand needle, I'm going to pick up 5 red beads. Slide those on a little way, and then I'm going to cross through them with the other needle. Like so. Pull that down, and that should make your arms, I know they're not called arms, that should make them tighten back up if it became loose. So there we have it. So now I'm going to pick up 5 and cross through them. Now taking one of your needles again, just one, I'm going to pick up 3 beads, slide those all the way down to meet the little body, then picking up 1, holding that one on your needle, you're going to sew back down through all 3. That again, don't worry if it becomes loose, when you add the next one it will tighten up. Now you're going to take the other needle from the other side and do the same thing. So picking up 3, slide those down, picking up 1, holding it on your needle and sliding back down through those, going back down through those 3. Now we're going to pick up 5 red beads, and we're going to cross through them. Okay, now we're going to repeat that step again, so picking up 5, cross through them. Now taking one needle at a time, you're going to add the same little leg as last time, so picking up 3 beads and slide those down, picking up 1 more, holding it on your needle and sliding back down through those 3 we just added. Okay, now go ahead and do the same thing with the other needle. Now picking up 5 beads again and cross through them. picking up 5 more beads. Cross through them. And doing the same thing again, so on each needle picking up 3, picking up 1 more and then going back down through the 3, so do that on both sides. Now picking up 5, sliding those onto the needle a little bit and cross through them. So now you've got this. Now we're going to pick up 4 beads this time. And cross through them. Again picking up 4 beads and cross through them. This time picking up 3 beads and cross through them. Same again, 3 beads and cross through them. I'm going to do that again, 3 beads, cross through them, and another 3 beads and cross through them as well. This time we're going to pick up 2 beads and cross through them, and 2 more beads and cross through them. Now we have this. It's almost finished. This time we're going to pick up 4 beads and cross through them, and 4 more beads and cross through them, this time 5 beads and cross through them, and 5 beads, cross through them, this time 4 beads and cross through them, 4 beads again, now 2 beads, cross through them. Okay, so that is basically the finished lobster. So what I like to do now, I'll just show you, I forgot to say at the start that I usually circle through the first 4 sort of beads together, because I don't know if you've noticed, but on this one these 2 keep flipping forward out of place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 needle at a time, and I'm just going to go back following the paths that we've taken. So hold on to your other thread tight so it doesn't loosen, and then I'm going to say like that way, and then back through that way, back through that way, that way, that way, zigzagging all the way until I get to the bottom, and then I'm going to do the same with the other thread. So I've gone down to the bottom with this first thread, and I don't want you to be alarmed when you do it, so I just thought I'd come on and show you this before I sew down with the other thread, that it does make it look a little bit back out of shape, but as soon as you do the same thing with the other thread going backwards and forwards, it will bring it completely back to how it's supposed to be, so don't worry about that as you go. Basically I've got all the way down to here with that first one, so here's that 2 that keeps flopping forwards and backwards, so I'm just going to go through that. and back through the one with the eyes on. So it's just sort of anchoring it there so it stays on the top where it should be. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the other thread. Another thing to remember when you're going along, it does spread out like this, and as you can see, I can see some of the bottom rows as well as these ones that are on the top. So bunch it back up together like this and make sure you're only zigzagging back through the top row, or you will actually distort it. So you don't want to be going through any of those bottom rows by accident. I've gone back through them all again, and now we've got this, so it's just a bit more sturdier and it's not as flexible as this one. This one I didn't sew them all together, and as you can see it's very like loosey, and you can see like the spaces between the beads. So that's the difference with doing that. It just makes it feels a bit safer, if you know what I mean, like it's not going to fall apart. So now all we need to do is to tie off your threads, or if you want to attach a jump ring or anything to this end or that end, go ahead and do that now. And then to tie my knots, I'll just take one string at a time and turn it over so I'm working on the bottom. So the top is obviously where the eyes are, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to move up into one of these bottom rows and then tie knots on the side here, but like the bottom side, if that makes sense, so that your knots aren't visible. I'm going to tie a few knots and do the same thing with my other thread, and then we're finished. Hey everyone, so that's for the finished beaded lobster. So that's what they look like, kind of creepy. And so I hope you enjoyed this video on this different kind of technique for one of my videos. Let me know anything else you'd like to see me make out of beads in the comments below, and like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed to see more of my videos, and follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah. Thanks so much for watching everyone. See you next time. Bye!